Yo, yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, good people, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Happy Wednesday, middle of the week, happy Wellness Wednesday, peace and love. KJ, my brother. What's going on, young fella, what's going on, peace and love. Listen, life is life, man. Today and tomorrow, be talking about my dad, man. Tomorrow is 30 years. 30 years since my dad transitioned, man. 30 years. 30 years is a long time. All right, 30 years is a long time without somebody. But such is life, right? I'll be without him physically for the rest of my life, right? And then there will be a day when my children may be without me for the rest of their life, and that's the fucking process, yo. We come and we go. We come and we go. We come and we go. One thing that's promised to us in this physical life that we are fortunate enough to have, as I mentioned, there are entities that would like to experience this life, this human experience, and they will never experience this, right? There are energies in the universe that will never come into this physical body. And so we are indeed blessed. We are fortunate. Even though life could be tough, we are still blessed and fortunate. And so we should be grateful because we're not here for a long time. Even if, right, we live to 200 years old, it's not a long time, but it is, right? But it is a long time. It's a lot could happen in that time. And so that's how you know that really is not the amount of years, right, of your life, but it is the amount of life that you put into the years that you have. And so we got to make some adjustments here in America, specifically Black folks, about how we think about life and how we think about aging and all of that stuff. But I think we're going to get there, right? Many people are doing an incredible job at, living as an example of what it means to be healthy, what it means to be vibrant, what it means to appreciate life, what it means to live, right? Because as we know, you can exist, but existing and living are two different things. To exist and to live are two very different things, very different approaches, very different mindsets. And so we striving to live, to have life, and to have it more abundantly, right? That is our goal. My goal, right? That's the goal of many of us, is to live long and prosper, right? Is to have the best life has to offer, to experience the best life has to offer, and love and art and food and travel and fashion and health. All right. So we on the journey, we on the path. But let's hit the share button. Let's share this live with 5 to 10 of our people who may be interested in tuning in. Let's hit this share button. Let's not keep this content to ourselves. Let's spread the love. Share this with a few folks, 5 to 10 people who may be interested in tuning in. Don't be afraid to hit that share button. Don't be afraid to hit that share button. Hit that share button for your boy. Spread the love, spread the good news. Let folks know you tuned into SR Daily episode 431, 431st episode of SR Daily here on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram Live here Mondays through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. It's going down. It's a beautiful thing. And as I always say, it's a beautiful day to have a beautiful day. So let's have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, beloveds. Let's enjoy this day. Let's celebrate this day, right? Let's acknowledge the beauty of this day, even with the challenges. Let's recognize that this thing is a dope experience, man. It's a dope experience. It's only one. It's the only one like it, right? It's the only experience like this is here. Anthony Newells, what's going on, my brother? Peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to get the show started, guys. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston. You are tuned into SR Daily, episode 431 on this beautiful Wednesday, August 13, 2025. We like to call this Wellness and Wisdom Wednesday. Wednesdays are the days that we intentionally practice some form of wellness, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationship, right? Communal wellness, something relating to the health of yourself, the family, the organization, the community, right? Something, and then wisdom, share wisdom, right? Share wisdom that you've learned, acquire wisdom, right, from someone else. Sit with someone who you think to be wise and learn from them, listen to them, as well as be someone wise that someone else can come and listen to. But that's the beauty of the day. Once again, episode 431. We're going to start with our first segment of the day. Today's first segment is a word of the day. It is a very simple word, but I wanted to talk about it. I think before I even say the word, right? The word came because tomorrow's my 30 I can't even talk. Tomorrow is the 30th anniversary since my dad's transition. And he was 66 years old. Some will say that was old. My OG, Mr. Harvey, says, as he approaches 81, says he wished people knew how young they was when they were 60 and 70 if you take proper care of yourself. So today's word is longevity. Longevity. Longevity is the word of the day. Longevity is defined as a long existence or service, a long life, living for a long time. Simple. Once again, today's word of the day is longevity. Longevity is defined as a long existence or service, a long life, living for a long time. We all can achieve longevity. It doesn't I'm going to say it doesn't matter. I mean, because it really doesn't matter your DNA, your genetics, what happened before you, because you can change that. We know that you can modify your DNA. You can alter your DNA. So whatever was in your genetics, like people say, oh, it runs in my family. Oh, my dad passed at this age. This person passed at that age and runs in my family. You can change that. You could be the reason that changes. Don't just look at what happened. Look at how did it happen? How did my father pass at 66? My brother passed at 63, right? How did this happen? What's the commonality? Lifestyle, diet, mindset, right? All of these different things. But longevity can be achieved. We all can live a long life. And I know that not everyone will, right? But we can. We can. Things happen, right? Car accidents, fires, right? Choke, trip and falls, right? Things happen. Things happen in life. Yes, things happen. But as we're going to talk about later on in the show, there are parts of the world where, quote unquote, things aren't happening like that, right? Like, not like they're happening here. For us, Americans, and specifically Black people, we're dying at very young ages. I don't even remember, man. I deal with so much transition. But you guys remember a few weeks ago, within 2-3 days, a 34-year-old I know transitioned from liver failure, and then a 39-year-old I know passed, and I still don't know how she transitioned, right? But a 34-year-old brother, liver failure, too much alcohol, terrible. And then a sister suddenly transitioned. I don't know if she had an illness. She was a friend of mine. She wasn't a best friend, but she was someone I knew. But her best friend didn't even know, like, was shocked that she transitioned, right? So again, it wasn't like someone was sick and it was a process. These young people, a lot of these young people are dying suddenly. Now, sometimes it is because they have an illness that they maybe didn't tell anyone about. They have something going on that maybe they don't even know about because they didn't go to the doctor. They didn't get checked out. They're not in tune with their body to know, like, all right, something is happening here. What is this thing? Right. And so, yeah, that's the word of the day, man. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible to achieve longevity. We have to first believe it, though. We have to believe it, and we have to want it. You know that there are some people who don't want to live a long time. So you may want them to live a long time because that's your family, because that's your loved one, because that's your friend. But they might not want to live a long time. Like, there are people who are literally miserable in life, and they are simply existing until they die. They are existing until they transition. Yo, Job Pot, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? L.R. Wilkers, what's going on? Anthony said we are ready for the powerful information. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Right. But yeah, that's the mindset. Do you want to live a long time? Some people don't. I do. Right. I want to live at least to be 100 years old. At least. We can go longer, 120. Absolutely. Right. But that's my personal ambition. And so I have to then align my lifestyle with that desire. How do I have to live? How do I have to eat? How do I have to think? How do I minimize stress? Like, what are the killers, right? Outside of a freak accident that you really can't control, right? Other than if you could be super in tune, right? Because we say there's no accidents. So I like to think that we could be like not average person, but there are some people who could be super in tune where they can see, all right, if I get in this car and take this trip that I need to take, I need to go pick my children up from school. I need to go get groceries. I need to go take the freaking laundry over here. I believe, I like to think that some of us are tapped in enough, can be tapped in enough. I don't think I am yet, but some people can be tapped in and tuned in enough where they take a step and they know that, all right, if I go this direction, life is going to end, right? And so you take a different route. I like to believe that. So outside of a freak accident, outside of things that quote unquote you can't typically control, what can you control? Diet, not just what you eat, what you listen to, what you allow onto your body, right? Understand that your skin is your biggest organ. And so when you're eating certain foods, right, or when you're using certain deodorants or certain chemicals, certain perfumes, colognes, right, certain laundry detergent, certain bath soap, hand soap, right, when you use certain chemicals, certain products that have toxic chemicals in there, you are damaging yourself, right? You're hurting yourself, right? So learning all of those things, you give yourself a better position. Learning them and then making educated, wiser decisions, choices, you are giving yourself a better chance at achieving longevity, at achieving, right, 90, 100, 110, 120 years old, right? But we're going to get into that in our next segment. Our need to know news of the day, following the theme, right, of longevity. You can live without illness. So there's two things. There are people who live to be 80, 90, but for 40 years, 50 years, 30 years, if not longer, they've had chronic illness, asthma, bronchitis, other illnesses, diabetes they've had to live with, right? Chronic pains they've had to live with. And I'm here to tell you this news of the day, this news that you need to know. You can live without illness. You can age gracefully. You don't have to be sick for 20, 30, 40 years before you die. Yes, you will transition at some point. Clearly, we all will. We came into this realm. We're going to leave this realm. And you came in through birth. You leave through death, right? You come in, you asleep, you wake up. You leave, you go to sleep, you go back, right? We're all going to transition. But you don't have to be sick in order to die. Anthony, I know you remember. Because I remember, and I'm a little younger than you, but I remember hearing stories from my parents and grandparents and other elders that such and such just died. Their heart just stopped. They was in perfect health. Their heart just stopped. They went to sleep and just didn't wake up. They died with a smile on their face. That's how it's supposed to be. No known illness, no cancer, no diabetes, no heart disease, no high blood pressure, no illness that kills you. It's just your time. Right? It's just your time. You do not have to be sick in order to die. It can literally be, quote unquote, your time. And this is where, again, semantics, words, right, come into play, because you say, okay, you got an illness, it was your time. I mean, clearly, if you didn't beat it, it was your time. However, if you did not develop that illness, would you be dead now? If my dad did not develop cancer, would he still be alive now? As he is 96. Yeah, he'd be 96. His birthday was June 21st. My dad would be 96 years old right now. If my dad was alive physically, he would be 96 years of age, right? Could he still be alive? Absolutely. Could he still be vibrant? Absolutely. Still could be driving, still could be traveling, still could be doing all of the things if you take proper care of yourself. But we don't know that. In America, it's a little different than Japan, right? Constant stress here, constant media propaganda, constant fear, right? Constant fear. But yeah, like I mentioned, it can literally be your time. If you get in a car accident and pass, is it your time? I mean, I guess so, because you're not here no more, right? And there are people who get into car accidents and terrible things happen and they live. So it wasn't their time, right? Fine line, but your time, to me, literally means that your heart just stopped. It's your time. There was no outside influence. There was no dis-ease. There was no virus. There was no bacteria that ate away at your organs that caused your heart to stop or caused your liver to fail. No, it was your heart just stopped. You lived long enough. Your heart took the beats that it needed to take and just stopped. And this is the difference. Like longevity, right, is a funny thing, because when you say your heart stopped, you don't have to be living a long time for your heart to stop. You could be 8 years old and your heart just stopped. It was your time. right? And that's tough because nobody thinks about losing the children. Nobody wants someone, younger than them, their child specifically, nephew, niece, grandchild, to transition that way. But it happens, right? So I'm using that to just make a point that your heart can stop at any time. At any time, when it's your time and your heart stops, it's over, right? But this is news I think we need to be reminded of. I think we need to be reminded of this mindset, right? This mentality. And specifically, talk about it. In Japan, it recently came out that there are over 95,000 people aged 100 years or more. In Japan, there are 95,000 people aged 100 years or more. Let's read it one more time. In Japan, there are 95,000 people aged 100 years or more. That's phenomenal. And I think we can learn a lot from that. I think the rest of the world, I think specifically those who want to live a long life, right, individually, we could learn a lot from that. And so let's read a little bit, right? I wanted to pull it up and read a little bit. So I asked, what are the keys to so many people in Japan living to be 100 years old, right? And we got a response. Let's see. It said the Japanese longevity secret is a mix of lifestyle, culture, and mindset, all woven together like a masterful tapestry. Let's break it down carefully, right? So diet and nutrition, a plant-forward, low-calorie diet, heavily on vegetables, seaweed, tofu, rice, fermented foods, right? In Japan, right, I don't advocate for this, but they eat meat sparingly. Portion control, cultural principle of hara hachibu, which means eat until you're 80% full. Eat until you're 80% full. This is something that a lot of us, myself included, right, need to learn, right? We like to eat till we're full. We like to eat till we pass out. We like to eat till we get the itis. Problem is killing us. Too much food. Too much food is killing us. Too much food is killing us. We have an overabundance of food in America. First of all, most of it is going to waste. We waste we waste a great deal of food daily here in America, right? But portion control is extremely important. Eat less. You don't gotta eat till you stuffed to where you like, oh yeah, you got the toothpick in your mouth. No, you could have the toothpick in your mouth and sit up. Right? You don't gotta be laid back and out, right? So fermented foods and probiotics, miso, natto, pickled vegetables, rich in probiotics, which support gut health and immunity, right? Omega-3s, right? Get your omega-3s. Also, active lifestyle, walking and movement, an active lifestyle. Many older Japanese adults maintain daily walks, bike rides, and light exercise. Functional movement, their routines often incorporate gardening, household chores, and activities that maintain mobility and strength. I like to say that a lot of folks literally stop living because they stop living. A lot of people stop living because they stop living. Do you guys hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of folks stop living because they stop living. Movement. Keep going. Movement is medicine. Movement is medicine. Movement of the mind, movement of the body, right? Knowing I got something to do. I'm doing something, right? It helps. It helps tremendously. Listen, I like to say, so my aunt transitioned, my aunt who was like my mama, and I'm still like, I still got some feelings about that, right? Because my aunt, she turned 90 a couple years back. We in 2025, 2023. Yeah, she was born in 1933. 23, her 90th birthday, Malcolm X's birthday, May 19th. She came out the hospital. She had a birthday party. We had a 90th birthday party for her. She was vibrant. She was dancing. She came in a spotlight. Boom. Cancer came back. Gave her chemotherapy. And that shit set her ass down. That chemo set my aunt down. And it was supposed to be hospital. It was supposed to be a rehab. And I visited her in the hospital. And she was able to talk and move a little bit. And then slowly but surely started to decline. And I like to say that clearly chemo, if she didn't take chemo and she would have kept moving, my aunt was still driving sometimes, like 90 years old, still driving. My aunt was planning another trip to Africa. Like my aunt was planning freaking that September, right? Because I wanted her to come to the vegan festival, right? 2023 vegan festival in Queensbridge. My nephew was the DJ. I wanted my aunt to come through, right? She wanted to come through, but she was supposed to go to the freaking jazz festival in Chicago, right? My aunt had plans. She had plans, yo, and she was planning to execute on those plans, but she couldn't She never made it out of the hospital, never made it to the rehab part, right? Never really made it. And I like to say that is because she stopped moving. And clearly she couldn't move. Chemo set her ass down. She couldn't eat no more. But movement. Let's keep reading. Strong social connections, right? We're talking about the secret to Japan having over 95,000 people live to be 100 years older, 100 years or more. Strong social connections, community involvement, social bonds are strong, especially in rural areas, reducing loneliness and stress. Family integration. Elderly people often live near or with family, providing emotional support and purpose. In America, we send our elders to the nursing home. Mental and emotional well-being, purposeful living concepts. They said at one point that this is probably the most important thing. I always mispronounce it. Ikigai. Ikigai. Reason for being. Why do you live? Why are you alive? Why do you wake up? Why do you go through your day? Why do you endure the hardships, right? Why? Give people a sense of purpose, which studies show lengthens life. So that alone, even if you eat the bad food, even if you don't do the exercise, but the purpose is going to lead you to do the exercise, right? But purposeful living, it lengthens your life. Low stress levels, lifestyle is generally slower paced. In Japan, slower paced. Mindfulness is embedded in daily activities, and meditation or spiritual practice are common. Meditate, right? Take time to yourself, slow the fuck down. You don't got to move so fast. Healthcare and environment, preventative healthcare, regular checkups and screenings, normalized clean living environment, air and water quality are better in many regions. Genetics, certain populations in Japan, especially in Okinawa, carry genes linked to lower risk of heart disease, obesity, and certain cancers. Genetics alone isn't enough, right? It's not enough, but it can complement lifestyle, right? I like to say, and I'm only 41, right? So I don't freaking know what the next 10, 20, 30 years holds. But if I'm predicting it based on now, I would say that I've changed my genetics, right? I would say that, let's say that in my genes, my dad, 3 siblings, right? My dad's three of my dad's 7 children have died from cancer, right? So dad's side, grandfather, grandmother, right? My mother's side, uncle, cancer, right? Didn't die yet, right? Didn't die from cancer. Grandfather, cancer, diabetes, right? But I like to say that my lifestyle, my diet changed, right? I am the first person in my family that I know on either side to go vegan or to even be just vegetarian. Nobody in my family was vegetarian. Everybody eats meat or seafood, right? Everybody eats the shit that everybody eats. First person to break that. Nah, we're not doing that no more, right? But also, let's keep reading. Let's finish this up before we go wrap the show. Cultural attitudes, and this is extremely important, towards aging. Respect for elders. Aging is normalized and celebrated, which supports dignity, self-worth, and reduced stress. Do you know that in America, and it may be you, but definitely in this country, if it's not you may know somebody who hates aging. Oh, I don't want to turn 30. I say, so if you don't want to turn 30, if you don't want to turn 40, you want to be dead? Think about what we're saying, guys. If you want to live a long life, you cannot shun aging. If you want to age, if you want to get older and watch your children grow up and watch your grandchildren grow up and watch the world become a better place, if that's what you want, you can't keep saying you hate aging. You can't keep saying, oh, I don't want to get older. Oh, I don't want to age. Oh, I don't want to turn 30. You keep, I'm 28. You're 28 for 30 years. No, you're not. You're 58. It's okay. Embrace aging, right? Embrace aging, and then moderation in habits. Smoking and excessive alcohol consumption are less normalized in long-lived populations, especially amongst women. You cannot continue to drink every fucking day. I started this talking about the young brother in my neighborhood, 34 years old, died of liver failure. 27 years old, King Shooter, died of liver failure, right? We cannot just continue to drink alcohol every fucking day. And then we say, well, this person in this country, they had a glass of wine every day. They might have a glass of wine, shot of alcohol, maybe 2 shots of alcohol. In America, I don't drink no more. But I know I used to have a bottle a day, right? 2 big-ass cups of alcohol a day, right? On top of bad foods and shit like that. No wonder why we dying at such a fucking young age at an alarming rate. We think that we could beat life. We think that we could drink all day, every day, smoke all day, every day, fuck all day, every day, right? Fucking get inundated with all of the stressors all day, every day from the news and social media and all of this shit. Don't exercise, right? We think we can do all of this shit, eat terribly, and live a long life. Get the fuck out of here. You I don't even know the word, right? Delusional, right? Delusional. Delusional, Jesus Shuttlesworth. Yo, S. Dot, what's going on, my brother? Light skin Melissa, what's going on? What's going on, sister girl? Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. But let's move right along, guys, to our third segment of the day. I'm trying to see your comment. Grand Rising, my bro. Keep doing it. Yo, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Let's move right along to our third segment of the day. Today's third segment, our tip of the day. Today's tip is to make time to sit in silence. Make time to sit in silence. Silence is golden. You've heard the saying. Silence is golden. Make time to sit in silence. Don't just do things to quote unquote relax. Although relaxing music can definitely be beneficial, sitting in total silence, even for just 2 minutes, does wonders for you, for your nervous system, for your mind, for your brain, right? Silence allows your brain, not science. Silence allows your brain to go from reactive mode to reflective mode. And if you ask me personally, reflection leads to breakthroughs. Reacting is okay, you got to react sometimes. Something happens quick, you got to make a move. But silence allows you to go from reactive mode to reflective mode. And I personally like to think that reflection leads to breakthroughs. Silence, even if just moments at a time, can help lower the stress responses in your amygdala, right? Can improve your emotional regulation, can strengthen your memory, and boost creativity and problem solving. I like to say that there was a time in my life that I was terrible at regulating my emotions. I did a terrible job of regulating my emotions. I did not have emotional regulation. However, through the last 17 years of conscious, intentional meditative practice, right? Almost 20 years of meditative practice. I'm really a guru at this point, right? But hey, such is life, right? I'll let you call it. And some people have said guru, so we are who we is. But yeah, my nearly 20 years of meditative practice has completely shifted how I operate. Greatly improved emotional regulation, right? Like my memory is stronger, right? Creativity, problem solving has been boosted, right? Enhanced, right? But yeah, silence is golden. Let's move right along, folks, to our fourth and final segment of the day before we get out of here. Short build of the day. We have to stop saying fuck cancer. Stop saying fuck cancer. I know, listen, I just told you my father, my best friend, my older sister, my second best friend, and then 2 other siblings. Another sister, another brother. Sister passed, 2 sisters, same day. Same day, 18 years apart, still a fucking mystery. However, although they all died from cancer, and I could say fuck cancer if I want to, we got to start saying fuck the foods and the lifestyles that cause cancer. Because otherwise, we're just angry and sad, which is okay to be angry and sad, but we ain't really doing anything to change situations to help prevent ourselves and our loved ones from developing cancer. We have to learn, guys. Like, we have to learn. It is absolutely essential that we learn and we grow and we get fucking better. Stop saying fuck cancer. Stop saying fuck cancer and say fuck the foods and the lifestyles that cause cancer. Say that shit. Because otherwise, again, we're angry and we're sad and we ain't doing nothing. We're just going to stay angry and sad, stay angry and sad. And I love my people. Let's get out of the perpetual cycle of just being angry and sad and making the same exact decisions until another loved one goes. And then eventually we go. And we can say, oh, it's just our time. No, it was not your fucking time. Stop eating the bullshit. Stop listening to the bullshit. Stop putting the bullshit on your body. Stop it. Please. Like, your children are dependent on you. Your grandchildren are dependent on you. They need you. Your family, your friends, they need you. They want you here. You are loved. You are cherished. You are sacred. And you are adored. Please stop saying fuck cancer. And say fuck the foods and the lifestyle that causes cancer. Don't just be the angry person, the person who's just always sad, right? Like, from the same shit, but you ain't making no changes. Now, you make changes and shit still happen. Okay, yo, I'm trying. I'm trying to live by example. I'm trying to say, yo, we can have this. I grew up a very certain way, right? I did the things that we all do. Ate the bad foods, drunk the alcohol, was lazy, was all of the stuff, right? Not really exercising, maybe playing basketball or football every now and then. Not really consistent, right? Especially at a certain age, right? Like, not really stretching my body and doing all of the things. I was there. I understand. And today I'm in a better place. And today I like to say that I've extended my life. I'm only 41. So again, I don't know what tomorrow holds. But I like to think that I've extended my life, right? My life force, right? I've given myself a better chance to live a longer life. right? To have longevity, to make it to 100, 120. I'd like to say I've given myself a better chance by making the adjustments, by cutting off certain things that was not beneficial to me, right? So yes, cancer is tough. Yes, cancer is fucking tough, but it is caused, right? Cancer is tough, but it is caused. Therefore, if it is caused, it can be prevented and reversed. If cancer is caused by something, cancer can be prevented and reversed. Said Food Sankofa, what's going on? I forgot all about you guys. Peace and love, peace and love. What's going on over here? Let's read the comments over here. Mona Love, happy Wellness and Wisdom Wednesday, baby girl. Peace and love. My goal is to have the longevity of 150 years. Let's go. Let's make that happen. Another reason I will move to the motherland, longevity. Absolutely. For me, it's quality over quantity. Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. Quality over quantity. But why could you not have both? Why you have to choose one? You don't have to choose just a quality life. You can choose a long life, my brother. You can absolutely choose a long life, right? It doesn't have to be one or the other. People have long life and a quality life. You don't have to choose one. For me, it's not how long I live, but how I live. Absolutely. Absolutely. But my brother, I hear you. But you can live a long life, right? Like, of course, it's not, but like people say that who died young, right? Like, because they didn't want to make the changes. I think a lot of people, when they say that shit, is because they don't want to make certain adjustments. And mind you, I say it. But I say it like I also I can have a long life and a quality life. I can have a long life and live well. Both can be true. You don't have to just have live well. And if I die, now, mind you, that's part of my mindset. Yes, I'd rather die young for a cause than to grow old and die just because. Absolutely. But if I can grow old with the cause, live a long time, live 100, 120 years, absolutely. Why not? For me, it's not how long I live, but how I live. The goal is to live a long, full, happy, and healthy life. Absolutely, baby. Let's put this out here for the people. My goal is to have the longevity of 150 years. Powerful, guys. We're about to wrap this thing up. The goal is to live a long, full. I'm at peace with the divine plan. Absolutely. Ashe. Sefu said practice proper stress management. Absolutely. Mona said my cousin just spent about a month in Japan and he said that he could live out there. Powerful, powerful. The drugs they gave my mom in the hospital killed her. Wow. She told me it would. She was a nurse, so she knew. It was stress that put her in the hospital. Stress is real. Stress is real. I know somebody else who they said their mother passed from cancer, but it was the stress. It was the always working. It was the always taking care of everybody else. Stressed her the fuck out. And her mother ended up going to the hospital and dying. Textile Geek, what's going on? Peace and love, family. Peace and love. Be great and make it a great one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Make a great one. Moment, minute, hour, day, week, month, season, year, decade in life. Absolutely. Absolutely. But guys, that's the show. Thank you for rocking out with your boy. I'm your host, LaShawn Sugary Marcy. You're tuned in to SR Daily, episode 431. We're here Monday through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Instagram Live. Look forward to seeing you guys right here tomorrow. Same place, same time, 9 a.m. to 9:30, right here on the live. Listen, it ain't getting knocked down. That's the problem. It's staying down. So get up. The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. We're going to go get this exercise in. Peace and love, guys.